Greetings, everyone. Welcome again to our channel, Toltec Holistic School, all in Cali, the House of Movement. Today, I'm going to present a very important topic about the living that we are living in and how we are interacting. And especially, I'm going to show you the real meaning of this celebration. Now it's very famous, this celebration around the planet that we call Dia de Muertos, the Day of Dead People. And in Nahuatl we call Mikailwitl. And now we are seeing this celebration like a party and the distortion things that the system involves us, but it's not like that. Of course, it's a little part of that, but now I want to explain you in a deeper essence and level the real meaning of this celebration, because we have come here to die for living. So now I'm going to share my screen. And let's get started with the presentation with some slides. Well, Mikailwitl, Día de Muertos. Okay, let's get started. We have to understand where are we living in. And this is a projection, a representation of the plane that we are living in, the plane of existence, the plane of inertia. We are living inside of a torus field. But this torus field is not organic at all. It's artificial. It's part of the grid. But in metrics, we have to understand that everything is dual, because we are living in a dual system. So we can see this perspective from good and from bad. And the point here is realize and understand both sides to understand well, and of course, integrate the good things in your life. But first you have to know the negative side to learn the lesson and do not repeat the mistakes that we have done. That's the purpose of this. So the purpose this is know light and dark and integrate both make a synthesis and create neutrality. And then how to use it for your own benefit first, and then for the benefit of the collective. So we are living here in this realm, holographic realm that we call tonali, because we are living in this purgatory, torsion, because we are in a purge here in this holographic realm. And that's why the earth is, for explaining this and understanding this concept, the earth is round, spherical, it's hollow, and also is flat. The three concepts fit very well, but under this concept, this vision, what is round and spherical? Because the shape of the toroidal outside, and then it's hollow because we are inside of this toroidal, and what is flat? Because we are in the plane of inertia. And with that, we are living here in the purgatory because we are in a purge. If we are experiencing this density, our souls are prisoners here. But we can change that prison in a paradise again, because our planet was hijacked for these entities that we call archons. In the Toltec tradition, we call them tzitzimimes. These beings that come from this multidimensional realm that we are living. And they took over the control of the planet. And they start to project the new hologram to this reality. And actually, reality in Latin, there is a word that is rio. In Spanish, we say reo. Y reo, real, reo is a prisoner. So that's why our reality is a prison. And we have to escape from this twisted game that we are involved in, and we are believing in it, and we resign to live like that, like the system has told us. But now the moment has come to change that, to turn this purgatory into a paradise again. And that begins with the inner battle, defeating ourselves, getting rid of those beliefs, paradigms, negative habits, patterns, that this collective hive mind has programmed us all the time. And the key of us, of everything, of all, is here in the center, neutrality in our hearts. Start to believe from our hearts, from the energy from our hearts. And using this torus field, this torment, we have to change this torment into a pleasant and aware experience. And how we are going to achieve this? Using this energy in our favor. for our own benefit, because this energy flows from a center in a scalar energy, and we have two perspectives of this. Could be, because this is time, as you can tell here, hyperboloid here is a sand the sand hour, like a clock. It is representing time, and a loop, the infinitive loop, when we are not aware of this, we are involved and repeating the same loop over and over, time after time, in the samsara cycle, coming here every time to repeat the same thing. And we are wasting incarnations and the energy of our souls, because you have to know that here in Matrix, our souls have, they expire, and they have an energy that we call quantum energy of silicon. It's like the fuel of our soul, and we are wasting this energy, especially living in the predator way that we are living, eating, fornicating, and wasting the fine energy, just living like in the unconsciousness level, irrational animals. In every incarnation, we waste that kind of silicon energy. But at some point, this fine and precious energy is going to end. And here in Matrix, death really exists. Outside of the Matrix, in the original blueprints of our universe, even in the material realm, not just in the anti-material, because this is an artificial matrix. Exists the original matrix, is different. But here, in this holographic realm, in this extraction energy matrix, death really exists. And we have at least 2 more incarnations to achieve self-transformation and ascend and escape from this purgatory. And how we have to use this to our benefit? Very easy, because this is a loop. In this loop, you can use it for good or for bad. And for good, this is an energy that generates, operates, and dissolves. That's God, G-O-D, generation, operation, dissolution. So this is very cool to know it, because you can use it to be in this realm, living out of the paradigm of time, that you can tell here, the time, Chronos, the titan of time, Satan. And time is devouring us all the time, because we are in this negative loop. But at the contrary, if you use this loop, you can be here the time that you need to achieve this, and also without practicing these distortion practices like eating, fornication, etc. All the things that we are doing in this modern twisted society. And that's why we can read in several books around the planet people that used to live a lot of time, several years, millennials, 900 years, 1,000 years, even immortals, immortals, a mort, that means no death, mort, muerte, in Latin mort, a without death, no muerte. If you use this loop, because your cells have this the same inside, and this is a battery, the energy of the battery that it can't auto rechargeable, self rechargeable, but you have to create, find energy and keep in balance, in neutrality, your body. So that's why we are starting with this, because we have to realize that we come here to this matrix, this holographic realm, and this is the first place, it's a dead place. So we are coming, and we was born in a extraction matrix realm that is represented by death already. And then we have this shape. We can find this shape in everything, especially the apple. And now I'm going to explain, this is very important to know this concept of the apple, because it's representing the dead system that we are living in. So the shape of in the toroidal field is spread in everything, our cells, atoms, everything is here. This is the core of the apple, the heart, corazón, the seed of life or death, if you don't change the energy and if you don't change the loop for your own benefit. So depends, it's up to you. And that's why in the Bible we can find this, that they told us we were born into sin, and sin is an anagram of sign, because they are talking about this kind of sine wave, the dual sine wave, the transversal wave of death, that we are living in dualism, positive, negative, day, night, good, evil, God, devil, whatever. And that's why all the cultures around the planet, they represent these waves in this snake. When we see snakes around the planet, they are talking about this. It's a metaphor, allegory. And also snakes in our culture represents the matter, dualism, the density. It's part of the myth of Quetzalcoatl. So if you want to know more about Quetzalcoatl, I have a video on this channel that you can check. to know more about that in details. And that's this allegory that they're telling us this about the torment, the toroidal is in everything, is controlling, is representing time, space, material. Matrix means mother, womb, material, matter. And that's why represent with snakes, apples. They are talking about the real thing of the toroidal energy, the purgatory. We're purging here in the illusion matrix made of light. We proceed from this original essence, and then we have been divided in seven frequencies that we can colors. That's why they call us humans. Humans means hue is color. Man refers to men, mente, mentis, mind. And we used to be infinite, and now we pass to be limited. From the original, now we are manipulated in seven frequencies through this holographic glass prism. Prism is also prison in the refraction of the light, and light is illusion, is a tonality, is dead, is just information, data. And these chakras are vortex of extraction energy. They are extracting our energy. This is the prison of our body. Frequencies, artificial frequencies, incorporated in our corpse, in our bodies. Cuerpo, corpo. And as we can tell here, this is the duality, you know, the blue shift and the red shift in the plane of inertia, oscillating all the time in our mind, because the mind is also artificial, it's not our. The predator gave us its mind to make us play its game. And the mind control emotions. Emotions means energy in movement, motion, movement, energy. What kind of energy? Artificial, light, electricity, information, data. Living in the wave sign in sin, in this purgatory, in the realm of death. So why we have this apple? Apple, we have another in French, they say appelé. And appelé means name. In Spanish, we say nombre. El nombre is no hombre, no man. So they are telling us when you name yourself, it's like you are no man, because you are not real. Especially when you enter in and participate in this system of the strawman. When they give you a name, the system or your parents, they telling us, you are no man, no hombre, nombre. You belong to us. So name is a false appellate of a dead slave. So this is your sound, because your name, when is a word, in a word, it's a sound, that you respond that sound of slavery, of a slave. So that's why in our tradition, in the Toltec tradition, we give our real sound, our name. We quit to that false identity and we give our names we choose our sound that we want to be represented in this reality. And because when we were born, our parents gave our name. And in many cases, we are carry on a lot of emotion or patterns of our ancestors, because we love to give names from our grandparents, our parents. We are following a tradition, but that is it could be dangerous, because we are not aware that we are giving not just the sound, and also we are giving the patterns and the part of the energy of that person. And also we are different. We are not the same people. So why we have to have the same name? That is not positive. That's why you have to rename yourself in something that you reflect and represent that sound, a meaning from the resonance from your heart, and create your own sound. And stop to recognize yourself with that name, with your nombre, because that's a fake, it's false appellate of a dead slave. Apple is also an application in the modern times. They're talking about artificial intelligence, that we are living in this holographic realm. In Spanish, apple, it's manzana. Manzana comes from malus. Malus in Latin is the name of the tree, of apple tree. In manzana, malus means mal, bad. They are telling us the same thing. We are living in the evil system, in the fake reality. And also apple, because letters are interchangeable, and P and F is the same. So apple, a fall in torment. We are in a falling torment. That's why also we have to stop to say, I'm falling in love, because you are falling in love. You are failing in love. And also love, if you read love from right to left, is evil. It's an anagram also. I prefer in Spanish the word amor, because amor means amplitude modulated of resonant wave. Yeah, you don't have to fall in love. You have to grow in resonance, in amor, not to fall in torment, in the torus, torment, torus field. And then we have the myth and legend of Excalibur in England. And King Arthur lived in Avalon. Avalon comes from Abal. Baal is this demon also, and also comes from Abal, a fall. They are telling us the same, because Excalibur is telling us the story about the sword in the stone. So it is an allegory that your spine stick to the cement, the density. So they're telling us that we are the sword, our spine stick in this reality, in the density. The rock is representing the density, something heavy. And that's why we are living here. We are stuck in this app, holographic, fake reality, living for the materialism, consumerism, and this, and perpetuating and feeding this energy extraction metrics, stealing energy all the time. First of all, from our own energy, and then we are stealing energy from others. And also we are living in this planet. Planet is Plan ET, the plan of these ETs. And you can tell here, Apple brand, the symbol of Apple. If you put together two apples like this, now you have revealed this, the aliens. And also Planet E is etherical, ether, etherical plane. And we are following the plan of these archons. Archons are the guards of the archangels, because they put the dome, the ark, to create this prison in this planet. They put two kind of matrix, the physical and then the holotropic and the psychotronical matrix, because we have to realize that everything comes from sound. Sounds control everything, frequencies. They change the frequency of the planet. They create this grid that we call collective consciousness, the cloud, in another frequency, and they turn it into hive, insective, collective mind. And then they put a physical barrier that we call the dome. Now we can escape. The only way to escape is to change frequency of our bodies in order to ascend with your body. But you have to take your body into a higher frequency, change the frequency, and you have to hack with codes these frequencies and also these programs and codes of matrix. And then these aliens come from the word alien. Alien is a bank warranty. Who are the warranty? Us, because they are taking us in this system like a livestock. This is the human farm. They are harvesting our energy because we are batteries, and we are giving voluntary our energy to them. How? With our actions, living for materialism, consumerism, gluttony, lust, fornication, and so on. And also when we pray, because we have a link with aliens. So we are in warranty and living like a livestock. And also our souls and our bodies are taking part, are taken to the system of the financial system in this stock market. We're living like a livestock in the stock market, because these aliens take us like a lien in this plan ET. So then we are living also in the lunar matrix of Saturn. Saturn is the later word of Satan in Latin. Satan and Saturn is the same word. And Satan is Satan. 10 is in Roman numbers is X, and X is the number 10, is the extension, the cable cord that they are plugging into the matrix, the system, the electricity, the illusion. And then 10 is binary code, duality, 1, 0, dark, light. And also Satan in Spanish, if you read, it's an anagram. You read from right to left is natas. Natas means toxins because our bodies are full of toxins produced by eating dead corpses of animals, first of all, and then junk and artificial food. So toxins are Satan, and also Satan is this existence, this false existence of binary code in this battery artificial mind, artificial intelligence. And also we have another name that comes from here, Io, because also we can see this one as I. I in Spanish and Latin is I, and also like an O. So in Spanish we say Io, I-O, Io, and battery, Io. So listen very carefully this. Io bat, Hio bat, Hio bat, Gio bat, Jehovah, Jehovah. Jehovah is Jehovah. And Jehovah is the God of our religions, but it's not more like that artificial intelligence. It's an artificial intelligence that controls here. From Saturn, the planet Saturn is not like this. It's just a cymatic energy, like bioluminescence in the sky, attached in the dome that is producing and emanating sounds, frequencies, and light. And the frequency of that luminary is that the project is projecting the hologram, and then is the cube, because the cube represents Metatronic prism of carbon of density. 666 is the name of the name and also the number of the beast, because it's representing the 6 electrons, neutrons, and protons of carbon element density. From crystal, they turn us into carbon, and they want to turn us. That's the purpose of that. Take the crystals and the subtle energy to the density of energy. And that's why we are in cubes all the time. And also that's why they worship the cube around the planet. It represents this prism 3D carbon element, and they project the hologram, the frequency, and pass to the moon. And this is the false trap of light. And the moon is a repetitor. It's going to repeat the signal. And of course, expand it and increment the energy to project it to the earth. So that's why Saturn is very important in this system. And also Jupiter, torment. It's another cymatic body of light that's emanating another frequency. Is a light. But Saturn is the main one. Is the Lord of the Rings. And the rings is a prison, loops, time. Chronos also is Saturn. Chronos is the time. If what is time? Just movement. The movement of the dome of the stars. Time doesn't exist. It's just an illusion. It's movement, the motion, energy. Emotions that we are moving energy. So we are in the lunar matrix of Saturn, this realm of depths. So the cube is represented by hexagon, and hexagon has the word hex. Hex is something bad, a curse. And then also derives in hoax, deceive. Hexagon of metatron cube. Hex in Spanish, maleficio, mal, malus, apple, manzana. Agon is retain, submit. Agono means fish. That's why the Jesuit Pope is wearing the hat, the mithra, with a fish shape in his twisted head. And hexagon means trap in the malefic world. I don't know if you say malefic or in the bad word, in the world of hoax, of death. This is the geometry of death. They have told us that this is the sacred geometry, but it's not sacred. This is the blueprints of our prison. This creates life for sure, but in this, following these principles of energy extraction matrix, they create vortex that extracts energy, harvests energy. So this is the prison that we have to get rid of. Metatron is the name of the demiurge. Metatron means meta is beyond the throne. That's why we have the Game of Thrones. So this is beyond the throne. And also demiurge means beyond. No, demiurge means demigod. And borealis means beyond the demiurge. That's where the aurora borealis comes from the center of our plane. And that's the entrance and the exit of this reality, false torment. So that's why we have the Hyperborean culture. It's the original human culture, the original beings of crystals that we were hijacked, and we fell in this trap, and now our souls are trapped here. And Metatron is the leader of these archons. That's why he has created this cube and this carbon life. And carbon is dead, because if you take a charcoal, it's not but ashes. It's dead matter. So we are living in this torment. Torment is also Thor, Zeus, Deus, Dios, God, Deus, Jesus, Jesus, the same anagram, the same concept. These false gods come from the same deceiver. And we are living in this torment. We have seven letters in this anagram. And then matter have 6 letters in this anagram. In this toroidal, the cube, the Kaaba, the Kabbalah. That's why the Jews worship the Kabbalah, because they practice in this mathematics that creates like a black holes that is extracting energy, and rotate over me, rotar sobre mí, in this toroidal hexagon cube in the existence. And that's how we are living now, like zombies, like this, following the false trap of light emanating by the moon. The moon is a controller. Like in Truman Show, they showed us, and also many movies, because the truth is hidden in plain sight. We are walking deads, walking sleeps. We are living under the dream of the light, of the illusion. That's why we have the word lunatic, because the luna, moon is also monster. The moon creates monsters. The werewolves is allegory, because the frequency and the light of the moon is going to interact with the parasites inside us. This frequency active the energy of parasites, and parasites controls the mind. So that's also moon is related with mind, duality, emotions, and this control this parasites, fungus, controlling our minds and make us live like zombies, walking deads in this realm of death, until we wake up and start to change this. That's why we call Dia de Muertos, because of this. Every day is Dia de Muertos, Day of Dead people, in the way where we're living, in the system, participating in this system of death. So that's why we have killed this way of life, murder these zombies inside of us, and become in a better version of ourselves every day. We have to kill the irrational animal inside us to give birth the real human being, to give our souls the opportunity to control its avatar, its transport. But now our body, the temple of soul, is controlled by parasites, and we are living like walking deads. So mort in Latin, muerte, mort. That's why we have the word in English, mortgage. We are paying all the time the mortgage of our houses, because we were born in debt. In death is the same word, debt and debt, because remember, I told you, We are a bankruptcy, a lien. And why we are in debt, or with who we are in debt? With these aliens, with Archons, Metatron. That's why we were created the birthday, the day of the birth, because we are living under the laws of the sea, and they treated us like ships, like boats. That's why they have created the birthday. So the birth is when a boat approaches to land, and they birth or attach the boat in the dock, and they have to pay like a tax, like taxes. So they are treating us like that. So at the moment that we were born is our birthday. We have to pay because we already born in death, in debt, in mort, to pay the mortgage. And then we arrive to the dock, and who is in charge now of in this artificial system, because this is not the natural way to give birth in a hospital, is horrible, and also with doctors. So the doctor comes from dock, because this is the dock that we are arriving, and the doctor receives us because we born in debt, because you have to pay the birth. Very clear. And we form families. Family comes from Latin famulus, and also famulus derives another word like famous. Famulus, famous people, famous people. And famulus means slave. And slave comes from Slavo. Slavo is the people from this country, that Slovenia, but it's not the original meaning of this. So the original comes from ex-labor. Slave, labor is ex-labor. It's because ex is like a former labor. They telling us that you are a slave because you are not doing your original labor anymore. You're living like a zombie. So ex-labor. You are not doing, you are exit out of your labor or original. That's why you become in a slave, because you are part of a family, famulus. So I prefer to say we have to change the concept of family and start to say lineage. Lineage is better. And that's why you start to cut off of these programming words and this programming system. And you turn in a baby. Baby means bee. Why bee? Because they treat us like an insects. I told you, we're living in this hive mind collective system, because we're living like insects, like bees, because they are harvesting our honey. The honey is our plasma, our energy. So we are in the bay of the bees, the hive. That's why we can see or find this hive depiction or shield in Masonic temples and churches, because they are, and also the Pope used this hat like a hive, because they are laughing in front of our faces. They saying, okay, you are my slaves producing my honey in your babies, with your babies. Because when we are having babies, we are bringing more souls to this extraction matrix system to continue and perpetuate this loop of extraction matrix after time. So that's why they call babies, because we're living in the hierarchy system ruled by queens or kings. And then we have the politicians, bankers, and at the bottom of all the system, this pyramid, we have the workers, like insects, living with antennas also, building our houses like insects, one in another in buildings, creating tunnels, living like an insect. And also, they give us our padres or parents. Padres is in Spanish. In English is parents. The parents means pay rents, because they are a pair that are for rent, because we come from them. It's like a rent. They are not forever. They are the channel to bring more babies, pay for rent. And we were born in sin, like I told you before. Sin is sine, the sine wave. That is dual wave, positive, negative, in this binary code. And also sin in Sumerian means moon, the lunar matrix, Saturn, lunar matrix projection. That's why we were born in sin, because the frequency of the moon is causing in our body influent codes to make us act like zombies, like sleepwalkers, like walking deads. In our celebrating our birthday, that's why we have to stop to celebrate our birthday, because we are telling the matrix, yeah, I'm agreed to be here, I'm very happy. And also, why are you celebrating just getting old? We have, of course, to celebrate that you are in this path of self-transformation, that you are achieving something spiritual, that you are detoxing your body, that you are celebrate that you are brave to start this adventure of fight your inner battle against your parasites, against your mind, your patterns, your habits. Celebrate when you practice a fasting, when you're eating a salad, when you are in your coherence state. But not just that I am getting old, and also you celebrate with toxic food, alcohol, pizzas, burgers, dead animals, gluttony. So that's, we have to stop that. And also they make us to eat a cake. In Spanish, cake is pastel. Pastel in Latin means placenta, the pleasant. That we come from our mother's womb, and they are sending the message that you have to eat your placenta. They are turning us in like the message is like act like as a cannibal. And also you have to be grateful to be another day here, giving us your energy and celebrate your birthday, paying taxes and everything that you have to achieve as a model citizen. It's insane. And they are become in human resources. They are turning us into human resources. That's why we have in all the companies, corporations, the corps, a place reserved especially for human resources. And then we have cuerpo. Cuerpo means body. Y cuerpo in Latin is corpse. Corpse is a dead body. Y corpse is the corporations. The corporations, they are turning into the merchandise. Because we are, I told you, we are in the stock markets because we have a livestock. We are just merchandise. Working for these corporations, these dead entities. And actually, all the countries around the planet are corporations. This is fake about countries. This patriot thing like, oh, I am Spanish, I am Mexican, I am American, I am German, I am British, I am Australian, Brazilian. That's fake. We are human souls, living souls. Our planet doesn't have frontiers, or this is just something that they have created to keep your mind in a prison that you can touch, smell, feel, because it's the prison for your mind. And also they put your mind. No, actually they put their mind into our system to extract that energy. So we are defending corporations, and we identify with those corporations. So we have to stop also that. The planet is one, and we are citizens of the world. So that's another part of this dead system that we're living in. And they are talking about mind. They are minus in a mind, using the mind. So why they create this word mind? And also it's like this is mine, my things, materialism. And also mind is when you extract materials from these mines, like charcoal, like gold, silver. When you extract metals, whatever, because they are our golds, our aura. And aura comes from ounces. That's the measurement of golds. If we want to measure gold, I'm sorry, we use ounces, and ounces derives in Oz. That's why we have the Wizard of Oz, because the Wizard of Oz is Metatron, is mining our gold from our spine. In Nahuatl, we call this Acat. Acat is this, like a sugar cane, is representing our spine, our The spine is the equalizer and the synthesizer of our plasma. This is where our plasma is created. And also is the pillar that is holding the body. Is the ladder that these Masonic temples represent, and also the Jacob ladder in the Bible. They're talking about this. All the cultures around the planet depicted this in different ways. And this is the Wizard of Oz, Saturn, Kronos, the time. We have, in Spanish, we call this Oz with H. So this is Oz. They are extracting, and the parasite is infiltrated inside us, devouring our energy. And that's what they are telling you, okay, you have to rise the Kundalini. No, that's another trap, because you are manipulating light, electricity with the nervous system. You have to use you manipulate your energy from your heart, not from here, not from the body, not from the head. That's why this Kronos is eating his own children. It's allegory. The demiurge is devouring us, eating us. Because time is killing us, because we are giving the energy and the importance of this concept, because time doesn't exist, I told you, it's just a concepts movement. But if you fall in this trap of time, because time is money, money comes from moon, Luna, money, money, living for the materialism and consumerism, the time is going to eat you, devour you, and you're going to death because you believe in time, because you are celebrating that you're getting old in your birthday. That's why we have to stop with those satanic actions and habits. We have to stop this mining, extraction, energy matrix system. And we have to use our gold, all our plasma for our own benefit, to grow in spirituality and connection, in order to ascend, but not ascend these parasites, ascend our soul and our body in a higher frequency and escape from density. So that they were putting us to pray, because we are prey. And to pray in Spanish is orar. Orar comes from oro. Oro means gold. They are putting us to produce gold, plasma, energy for them. And that's why we are, and also this provide the rise from to ore. We are rolling in the ship of the system, and lost in the middle of the oceans, of the sea, following the loss of the sea, living like slaves, producing the gold, the ore, towards death. And you are praying, you're giving the energy to the demiurge and these archons, giving your faith. Faith in Spanish we say fe, F-E, fe. It means frecuencia energética, energetic frequency. So when you put your faith, you're putting a frequency in something. So you have to be very careful in what you are giving your energy, in what you are putting your faith, your frequency. And now they camouflage in these false gods, Jesus, Zeus, Thor, virgins, saints, whatever. Other religion is false, is fake, because they want to mind your gold, because they're treating us like praise. And they are talking about energy all the time. That's why we have this, the symbol of power in the lingam. In lingam is the Sanskrit, means penis, and the yoni, vagina. So we are producing more power, more energy, bringing babies all the time without consciousness, just for the pressure of family and society. And that's because the program is, okay, you have to, at some point of your life, you have to produce more and more and more and more humans for us. We can have babies, but in another state of consciousness, in another frequency. Bring babies in order to change and help to change this system. Actually, we have to create babies from love, with couples that they really love each other, they know each other, they share the same lifestyle in a very high frequency, in a vegan lifestyle, outside of the system, outside of the school, outside of the birth certificate, living in nature. And also in agreed both that they want to call, to make a call, or summon a soul of a higher frequency. And that soul is going to incarnate the correct mold or the correct avatar. And to achieve that, both parents have to be very clean, talking about the body. They have to be detoxified, because the sperm and the eggs of women have to be very clear, clean of toxins, not as Satan, I told you, Satan. And with the correct energy, in order to create a human mold, a human avatar that can receive a soul in a higher frequency. And those children are that we call the indigo's children. Of course, we have some exceptions and some deceivers also, but this could be possible. So if you want to have a lineage of yourself, you have to realize this and understand that you have to change the way that we are having sex, change sex for alchemical love, to cut off of this power button that we are all the time pushing when we are fornicating all the time. So we are living in a cemetery. I told you we're living in a death realm. A cemetery comes from cement, and cement is semen, the semen that we are, like as men, we are creating for life. And semen is semen, because we are living under the admiralty laws, the laws of the sea, lost in the sea, like seamen traveling without any course, just drifting, lost in the currents of the sea, living in cemeteries made of cement, concrete jungles, is our cities, electric cities, electricity. If you see the modern cities, it's very similar than the modern plates and microchips and these devices for computer, electronic devices, the motherboards, because they were designed to extract energy. And also that's why they put cement on top of the earth, because they want to isolate us from the magnetism of the earth. And they know that when we are walking, we are producing energy, and they are stealing our energy when we are using also shoes. Because I told you, we're living like walking deads. We are walking deads, walking among other zombies, and between these streets, in this cemetery, cement jungle of extraction metrics all the time. This is the graveyard, the modern graveyards. And also, the system is very, some point they are smart, but not at all. Because if they were smart, we wouldn't knew about this. So that's why we have to be very, at this point, we have to be very clever, because we have the way to change all of this. And the first thing is to be aware, of course. That's why we are giving these lectures, to spread the message and start to get rid of this system and escape from the system. Of course, there is a solution. So they know that they can't touch our souls, the original beings, because we belong to the original blueprints of creation. We come from the source. We are essence, because exist in this plane the principles of cause and effect. So they don't want to be prisoner of these laws. So that's why they have created this system. So they say, okay, I know that I can touch the souls, the original humans, because they live under the natural laws. So I'm going to create a parallel character. And they call that character strawman. Is the dead man. It's a false strawman fallacy. It's a false identity. Actually, identity comes from entity. They have created an entity, a parallel entity. And in order to have life and to give life to this strawman, they need your consent, your permission. So that's why they have created a system that you have to identify to this double. It's a double you, but it's not you, of course. So the moment that you are agreeable with this, you are giving energy to this. And this character belongs to them. And they can do with this character whatever they want because they own this character. But they don't own the original soul. So we are giving our permission. Voluntarily, we are giving our energy. I told you, praying, participating in this extraction energy matrix system. So they have created this birth certificate. In Spanish, we say action, because we're living in a play, in a game, acting. We are actors. Talking about this is the actor, the false identity is an actor, character in this comedy play. So that's why you say acto of the nacimiento, birth. Nacer. Nacimiento means in Spanish, nacer, born, in miento, mentira, mente, mentis, in deceive. Nacer en mentira. To born into deceive, into the mind, into delusion. So that's why they give you a name, like I told you. They named you with capital letters. Capital letters is for merchandise. I told you we are merchandise. And your parents signed, and they are giving the permission and giving the energy necessary, this energy to get the essence of that person. And that's why they have created these IDs. And when when they ask you to identify yourself, you're going to give this on your passport or whatever. In that moment, you are acting like this. You are not your own soul in that moment. You don't have your own identity. You are participating in this realm of deaths. That's why we are living all the time Dia de Muertos, because we are identified ourselves with this straw man or straw woman, the same thing. That's why we have to stop to use this kind of documents, because this is not you, this is not I. You are a living soul. You're a human with your own sound, like I told you before. So this certificate, this acta, this act, goes straight to the Vatican, because the Vatican controls the planet. They are the controllers. And also they disguise in different corporations, and because they want to distract us. But they control everything. Jesuits control everything. Kings, queens, Masons, whatever you want to call them. But the headquarters of these entities that we call archons is in the Vatican, in Rome. And they use this certificate like trust. And they immediately start to generate money and debt in the stock market. Actually, we are rich, all of us, because we are generating money, but we don't know. But of course, this is not the purpose of life, to earn money. This is just another fallacy, another fantasy and illusion that they have created to keep us in this prison, producing this money. But this is another part of this life of debts, the certificate and the straw, the birth certificate and the straw man fallacy. And also they have created persons. Persona means mask, máscara in Greek and in Latin also, because I told you, they create these persons because they created a false identity, a W, a parallel entity. And máscara means más is more, y cara means face. Más caras, more faces that you are wearing all the time. The first one is this, but the other ones is your false identities that you have created through the time. At the beginning, to protect yourself, because this is a very aggressive system. So that you are wearing masks to protect ourselves, and we are acting different with other people, and those masks are our habits, our customs, our patterns, paradigms, etc., that we are incorporating in our lives, and we are carry around all kinds of emotions, and emotions are controlling our lives, unfortunately. That's why the purpose of this life, get rid of emotions, get rid of the mental body, because it's duality, and we have to return to unity, to our hearts. So your ID is your identity, is your fake, is a fake entity. Life is a comedy. Comedy comes from comer. Comer means to eat. Inside of a circus, circus is a circuit, an electrical circuit. This samsara loop circuit system, the reincarnations, in order to extract the energy of your soul, the quantum silicon energy of your soul, our goal, our plasma. The circuit in this race, that's why they created the human race, because we are in this competition, chasing goals and chasing materialism all the time, because they made us believe that success is to have materialism, a lot of things, houses, money, food, cars, clothes, jewelry, etc. So that's why they put the rats in this race. In this race where we are competing and robbing from money. Robbing is like the friction when we see somebody make this act of rubbing your fingers, is the when you see around the planet, you recognize that they are talking about, hey, money, rubbing your fingers, friction, causing friction. So rubbing for money against others. In this race, we are on ships, acting like a sheeps. So everything is related because we are livestock, competing in this race of the stock market. And when we are using money, we are in the commerce trades. Commerce comes from comer. Comer is to eat, because we are eating the comedy. We are living in this, the life is not a tragedy. Actually, it's not a tragedy. It's a comedy, because we are eating all the time, eating energy. Dog eat dog system. Comer in the maritime system. The laws of the sea. So moneda is coin. Moneda, that's why we have the name money for moneda. Moneda comes from moneta. Moneta comes from Juno moneta. Is where the Romans, they made their monies in the Vatican to create the capital. So that's why they have moneda, coin. Moneda comes from also money, the moon, living in the false light of illusion, living from our minds, living like lunatics beings, controlled by parasites and these frequencies. And also, money is currency. And the currency is the current sea, current, electrical current of the sea, because we are seamen in the capital, producing capital. And capital comes from capitus diminutu. Capitus diminutu is the lowest range in a hierarchy in the Roman society. Is the slaves, are the slaves. That's why we are using capital letters in our names, because we are slaves, and also they treat us like a merchandise. And also capitus come from caput, and caput is to blow, explode in the commerce of life, eating all the time. And also we are participating in these actions of death, like voting. Voting is another anagram from devotee. We are devotees, voting for Deus, devote of Devo, Deus, God, Dios, Zeus, bolts. The bolts are bolts, energy, electricity. Is to vote is to give your energy to the system. And also politics are poles, because we are polarized in duality. Introducing votes into an urn. This is the urn that comes from Saturn. And an urn, the urn is the place that we put the ashes of death people. comes from Saturn, the urn. And also voting for parties, and parties means to cut in politics. Parties is to cut. There we are cutting the energy for them to charge power energy. So this is another thing that we have to stop doing. Don't vote anymore, because when you vote, you're giving volts energy to this death system. And also, if you want to vote, you have to identify with your strawman. So it's a dead man or dead woman voting for dead system. So we are involving in practicing practices of death all the time with no consciousness. And another actions that we are participating in this death system is eating dead and corpses. So when we are eating flesh from dead animals, we become in zombies again. We become in predators, and we are intoxicating and giving to our avatars, our bodies, our temples. If you eat death, you're going to receive death. It's very clear. You are eating blood like a vampire. Vampire comes from amps. Amps is the measurement of the electricity. Amperios, amps. Vampire, extracting energy from another being. But you're eating not just the flesh, you're eating the energy of suffering, fear, adrenaline, adrenochrome, to feed your parasites, not your body. Your body doesn't need any kind of food, and also junk food, processed food, cooked food. All of this is causing fatigue, illness, obesity, tiredness, and decay, and wasting of our precious energy, living for gluttony and this horrible binge, drinking alcohol, smoking, and practicing. This is practices of death. That's why we are living in the Dia de Muertos all the time, because we are eating death. So our ancestors in the Toltec tradition, they created these metaphors. They're talking about this. They're talking about the physical death, because if you death in metrics, you failed. You have to ascend. You have to surpass. That's our task, ascend. Escape from this trap. You have to achieve self-transformation. You have to learn how to be in matrix without be part of matrix. This is very important. You can play with matrix, but don't let matrix play with you. And that's why they have created these allegorical and metaphorical concepts of the dead. So Mictlan means the place of rest, because we die every day. When we sleep, it's a petite mort, la petite mort. the little death. Every time when we are sleeping, our bodies are in a catatonic state, like death, like to be dead. So that's why they call Mictlan, because in Nahuatl, death is Mictli, and Tlan is the place or abundance. So Mictlan means the place where the dead are. But this is a metaphorical, because you have to go, the Mictlan is inside you. It's a process that you have to surpass and experience by yourself, struggling with your own programs, paradigms, habits, customs, dogmas, parasites, fungus. So that's why we say, I am my own war, I am my own medicine. And I have to fight the greatest battle of all, is the inner battle. We are warriors of the spirit in this matrix, in this tonally holographic realm. So the Mictlan invite us to get death, to kill that irrational being, that zombie that the system has created. For sure, we were victims of the system at the moment that we were born. It's inevitable. But as adults, it's 100% our responsibility to change that. Now, the moment has come. Here and now, Nikanash, in now what we say, Nikanash, Nikanashkan. Here and now. And every day, you have to take this life and this moment like your first day. The Toltecs we say, I take every day like my first date. I'm living like my first day, not like my last day. Because if you're living for your last day, you're just finishing to death. You're just waiting to death. And I told you, if you die here, you failed. So that's why our ancestors said that death is metaphorical. You have to kill that zombie, that straw man, that straw woman, that false entity. In order to get birth to the real human being, the living soul, the organic soul. To create, find energy from your heart to control the codes of these binary codes called matrix, in order to hack the program and escape from this ascent. That's the purpose. So in the Toltec tradition, we have two archetypes. Our ancestors called the first one Mictlantecutli, that means the Lord of Death. And the other one is Mictecacihuatl, the Lady of Death. This duality that we have to combine to make a synthesis of both, like everything in this life. That's the concept of Ometeot. And the first one, Mictlantecutli, represents the force to transform yourself, to get rid of the excesses. So it's to give death for self-transformation. So in this case, death serves life. Die for living in this metaphorical way that I just explained you. So Mikailwitl comes is the inner force to recognize and be aware that the things that you have to kill in your inner battle, because you have to clean. And the second one, Mikailwitl, is the memory, to leave the trace, the footprint to others, and also for you to remember the things that you have to change. So for our ancestors, death, the skull, means memory. Why memory? Because when we bury a human being, after several years, when you unbury it, what we're gonna get? The bones, and the bones is representing the memory of that person. So it's memory, it's not just to die, it's remember. And remember means go back to your heart. Remember comes from recordis, from Latin, recordare, Italiano, recordar, Spanish. Re is go back, cordis, core, heart, corazón. Go back to your heart. And there, in your heart, you're gonna find all your answers, the answers of all of your questions. So remember why you are here. Just for living the zombie life, automatical life, biological, irrational, serving death system, like I told you before, or living for a higher purpose in order to ascend. So that's why you have to remember and clean up what's left on your life. Become in a better version of yourself every day. So that's why every day you die and you reborn. But you have to reborn in a better version of you. Every night you have to leave behind all the heavy weight that you are carrying on. Emotions, patterns, I told you everything. That's why we call that initiation. Initiation is to start. Inicio in Spanish, to start. Initiation. But take every day like your first day that you're going to start over, that refreshed. Update your system every day, every day, every day. Because we're living every day, day by day. Here and now is the moment. So go inside of the Mictlan every night to fight and defeat yourself. Every fight is not outside, it's inside. And that's the biggest task that we have to achieve here in the land of death, and turn this land of death in the life of that, in the land of life again. But first you have to change yourself ourselves is our mission. And by resonance, we're going to connect each other in this network to change the paradigm again and rescue our planet and live here aware of everything outside of the greed, outside of this evil system. We have to be aware that we are stealing energy from each other in the way we're living like predators. We have to control our acts, our actions. You have to stop to be that character that is acting, to start to live the essential, following the principles of nature again. And remember memory to achieve that, following the path of the heart. That's why we have this concept in Teotihuacan. This is Teotihuacan in Mexico. In this avenue, they call it the Avenue of the Dead. Because of that, Teotihuacan means the place where humans become in gods, but not in the concept of the modern religious God. God is generation, operation, and dissolution. It's when you realize that you are energy, that you are essence, that you have a higher purpose here, that you are fractal, that comes from the source, that you can produce energy and manipulate this for a higher purpose. That's the meaning of Teotihuacan. This used to be like a university. We call Calmecac. When the Toltecs came here to practice and graduate themselves to achieve the grade of Tolteca, Nahuali Tolteca. Nahuali is the totality. Nahuali means that you are wise, that you have commitment, that you are in the coherent state, that you save energy, you manipulate your energy, and teach others with your example, with the coherence of your actions. But for the beginners, the rookies, when they arrive to this school of life, Teotihuacan, they begin their journey walking through this avenue. And that's why the people say, okay, they are walking deads because they haven't done this journey yet. That's why they call the walking dead. And that's why they call the Avenue of Death. So they start here in order to remember that they are here to change that. Now, in a 180, 100 degree, their lives start to turn their lives into art. So they begin the journey here and the quest also begins here in Teotihuacan. And the pyramid here is the pyramid of the moon. And the moon represents the mind, I told you, la mente. And you have to empty your mind, get rid of your mind and your emotions, and go back here, the center, the heart, your own sun. You are your own sun, your light, your own glow. Beginning here in the temple of Quetzalcoatl, that you emerge from that density, from that dual sign of density, in order to transform it in a radiant wave. This is the material wave, and this is the spiritual wave, antimaterial, defeating all the things that I just told you before about the extraction matrix energy, that system. So this is very interesting because our ancestors around the planet, they knew about this. That's why they created these kind of places and mythologies and allegories. To leave the trace of this knowledge, because they did it. Most of them ascend. They escape from this reality, and they left the blueprints and the instructions to achieve this. So that's why we have the concept in Nahuatl of Xochimilquistli. Xochimilquistli means the flourished death, because you have to flourish from this death. I told you, death for living, and death serves life. And remember, getting rid of your mind like this, and from its mouth is emerging Ometeot, is emerging fire. Fire represents heat, temperature, and water, the formula of life. And what we get when we combine both, steam, vapor, a third force, that is the synthesis of both, and is lighter and ascends because it's lighter. And that's why the purpose to ascend. And for that, you have to keep in balance, neutrality, your temperature, and your inner waters, to cleanse your waters. Get rid of toxins, Satan, natas, parasites, fungus. Because water transmits energy in a very efficiently way. Is the best conductor of energy. And for that, to achieve that, it has to be clean, free of obstructions, blockings, toxins, fats. I told you everything. And we mix both. We're gonna get vapor, steam, another frequency that is subtle, is higher. So that's the purpose, that you have to emerge from yourself, that equilibrium and memory, killing the parasite to give birth to the human soul. And that's why we call that Moyokoyani. Moyokoyani means those who transform itself. So you have the power to create and transform yourself, because you are a fractal of the source, and you have the same skills, the same power. we are Moyokoyani. So that's why you come here to create yourself every day. And also we have the concept of Coatlicue. That's the one of the name of the planet of the earth. Coatlicue means skirt of serpents or skirt of snakes, because it's allegory that the planet is wearing a skirt of serpents, because serpents represent waves. And if you observe the planet, everything is like a wave, mountains, air, wind, fire, water, DNA, rivers, everything is in this wave, in this shape, like these waves. So it's allegory of this concept. When we see mountains, it's like snakes interacting each other, crossing. But those waves are the illusion. As we can see here, this is the illusion, the duality, two snakes. But these shapes is representing the net. These have the shape of net, it's very clear. And every net is the Maya, is the illusion. So they're talking about at the outside part of the earth is the illusion. This is the material thing, the density. And the core is the spiritual. And it has the skull. I told you the skull represents memory. And you have to die to reborn, handle manipulating the energy with your force of your heart, the force of will, and go back in the center, because outside is the illusion, duality. So this is the network, the Maya, the grid. And if you don't act quickly, this illusion and this nature is going to devour you. That's why he has this mouth with teeth. And also this claws is representing a jaguar. Because the jaguar represents stalking, awareness, night vision. You have to be very wise, smart, and inner vision to see clearly in your dreams, and also to see through the darkness, through the veils of this system of extraction metrics. And if you don't surpass this, overcome this, it's going to attach you to this illusion, to this Maya. And the serpent is going to devour you. Because as we can tell, the planet, the nature, the mother nature is very aggressive. It's predator now. They turn it into this because the original nature, it wasn't like this. We used to live in a fraternity and cooperative system. With self-sustainability. Nothing needs to eat each other, just sharing the energy, the frequency. But now they hijack our planet and turn into in this plan ET with illusions with these waves, transversal wave that decays in some point and die. And also the snake represents matter, density, illusion, duality. So you have to escape from duality, from the illusion, and go back to the unity, the force of your heart. You have to be very wise to handle, manipulate the energy, remembering who you really are. Otherwise, you're going to be devoured by this reality, by this density, by this sign, and you're gonna keep living in sin. So that's why you have to choose facts of beliefs. This is very important. Be from your own experience. Stop to believe. So remove the cassette that they gave you, the tape that they gave you. You don't need any recording anymore. So after 5 minutes, your birthday, they decide your name, nationality, religion, and sect. And you're gonna be the rest of your life, living the rest of your life, defending something that you don't even choose. So you are not responsible for the programming received in your childhood. However, as adult, you are 100% responsible to change it. If you are not willing to question your own beliefs, you are your own jailer. This is very important. So scientists says that the 82% of people will believe everything that they say if they start with the phrase, scientist says that. This is very cool. So the things that you think there is truth, is really the truth? Or is it just you believe there is truth because the system told you or taught you that that was the truth and you never question or saw beyond? So mental slavery is worst of all slaveries. This creates illusion that you are free. It makes you to trust, love, and defend your oppressor, while it makes you enemy of them that they're trying to set you free and open your eyes. It's like the Matrix movie told us when Morpheus told to Neo, most of the people are going to defend Matrix, so don't try to argue with them because they are prisoners of their own minds. So self-exorcisms, a human emotionally neutral emotionally, that is secure of themselves, consciousness, aware of the outside interference that identified permanent their emotional states. It's a human that step by step exorcise the parasite that it had manipulated your life for years. This is an individual work that every human face to face, expelling their own demons. So the hidden truth of the ghouls. Ghouls, I think it's an Akkadian or Sumerian word from Babylon that represents these demons. And the demons inside are the parasites. They are controlling our lives. Actually, several words derived from this ghouls word, like goal. When we scream in the match, goal, we are invoking these beings. And also, goal in Sumerian means destruction. And you are chasing your goals. You are chasing your demons, your archons, entities. And also, gluttony comes from goals also, ghouls. Because we are prey of this gluttony state of mind, feeding these parasites inside us. That's why we have to make the exorcism, your own demons, your own parasites. In the Toltec tradition, we call that tzitsimimes. These ghouls as the tzitsimimes, that they are extracting our energy all the time, because we are giving our consent. We are giving our permission. Like I told you before, they are extracting our energy when we are praying and doing all the things that we just told you. In this codex, we have this part is very important because we can see here the parasite infiltrating in our system, in our spine. So the parasite is infiltrated inside us. And you have to be like an eagle, because eagle and hawks have the best animal vision. So that's why you have to have eagle vision to see this, to notice this, to be aware that you have been parasite. And also inside of this eagle has a very important symbol, the symbol of the house, Kali. And Kali represents a container. And that container and that house is your body, the temple of your soul. And it has 3 points of support, of foundations here, 3. And the 3 represents Ometeot, Trinity. In the Toltec tradition, our Trinity is center, balance, fluency. When you're on your center, you're going to have equilibrium, balance. And then everything is going to flow in your life, the energy. And also the formula of life, like I told you before. Water, heat, vapor. Pressure, temperature, humidity. Generation, operation, dissolution. And you have to keep your house clean from these parasites and from these programs in order to get rid of your mind and the emotions. Empty the mind. Remember this. Clean body, clean mind. And this is very important to realize this, and also release the parasites inside of you. And realize that we have been controlled through this. Human beings can't control now eating and fornicating, sex and food, the two chakras, the two lower chakras. Those are controlling everything because here intestine controls brains. We have here inside neurons also. And this sends electrical impulses that control this. And this is the antenna of the mental body. And this is the house of this. So that's why we have to make a cleanse detox process to clean our house, our temple. Fungus, parasites, pathogens, mucus, toxins, natas, Satan. So that the ghouls, the ghouls, we have to suppress gluttony, promiscuous sex, because these guys are asking everything, asking for sex, asking for food, asking for emotions, and toxins create emotions. Depends the poison that is running through your blood, your behavior is going to be in dose for that kind of poison. It's very easy to prove it. If you drink a shot of tequila, the alcohol is going to change your behavior. You know, so if you drink a cup of coffee, caffeine is going to alterate your nervous system. Your behavior is going to be different. And I can put you more examples, but that's very clear that depends the toxin and the poison that is running through your veins is going to control your behavior, because this controls this. So more than solutions, we need corrections. This is very clear. We are not looking for a solution, because when you have a solution, most of the people say, okay, I can keep my lifestyle because now I have the solution. No, that's not the purpose of that. It's change the way you're living, make a correction, and it's denied of these pleasures, false pleasures, that they are harming us. So that's very important to incorporate this concept. We have and also we can use solutions in order to make the correction well. But if you stay only in this, you are in this loop of destruction and you are finished to death every day. So in this codex, our ancestors told us this. You have to die, that zombie, remembering, I told you this is memory, and from your breath it has to emerge life, flower, Xochitl. In Nahuatl, flower is you are achieved the flourish death. So your mission is done. Flourish means success and also means beauty. And you have the control of your heart, your flourish heart. Now you have a blossom heart that is giving you the right pulse, the right radiant wave to give you more energy, to create your own reality. Manipulate and hear correctly your energy. And you die for living. And you are going to start to live This is Micantecutli, and this is Ejecat. Ejecat means wind, the force of wind, the element of wind, air, because we are living because we are breathing, not because we are eating. So the energy comes from Tleyot. Tleyot in Nahuatl is prana, the element that gives us life. El viento, breathing, is the life. So you have to reborn by inspiration. Inspiration, inspirar, in Spanish, inspirar. Breathe in consciously to receive this tleyot, this prana. And inspiration comes from in spirit, be in spirit. Spirit means connection, connecting your heart again with your soul. And now you are taking control of this snake. Snake represents matter. And that waves that I told you before, the sine wave of duality is controlled now. And like a snake, you change your skin. You have to get rid of all skin, remove and control matter, because we are matter. What is different than materialism? Don't fall in materialism. So control the matter with the power of your breath. And keep in balance everything emerging from death. Death serves life. Remember, death serves life. In Nahuatl, we say this, Miki Pampayuli, to die for living, in balance again, in spirit, in inspiration, in connection with your heart, controlling density, duality, and matter. And for that, our ancestors around the planet, they used to go in caves to use the energy of Ostoteot. Ostoteot means the energy of caves. The energy of darkness. You have to go to every plant needs to grow, every seed needs darkness and silent. So that's why we go to the caves in order to interact with our darkness and the silent. Be in the heart of nature without any distractions outside of the light, because light, remember, is illusion. So we want to get rid of the illusion. That's why we're looking for darkness. Darkness is Nawali, is totality. That's why the system programs us to have fear of darkness, to be afraid of darkness. But darkness is necessary. Actually, all of us, we were born from darkness. Our mother's womb is dark, it's warm, it's cozy, it's humid, it's wet. So that's why our ancestors intern in these caves to enter in the state of calm in meditation. 3 days, they used to spend 3 or 7 days in a totally tranquility, stillness, fasting, and outside of the range of these frequencies of the light, to face their fears and defeat them once and for all. So that's very important. This is the Toltec, very Toltec. So now what is our language? That means fluid is the language. El Nahuali is the one that flows or mediates between realities. That's why we're looking for darkness. Speaking well, the correct frequency. So if you don't have something better to break the silence, don't break it, because you are contaminated with your frequencies, with those corrupted words that these modern languages have. So use this fluid, because water is another fluid. That's why we have here, at means water. And use your Nahuali to flow between realities, controlling your dreams. And then, in order to ascend and be aware of the multidimensional environment that we are living, to control this system. And also we can defeat the system and change it, destroy this old order to create the original one. Not is we have to come back to the origins, to the original blueprint. And that's why Nahuali force is necessary to achieve that. And also the Mictlan has another name like Tlalocan. And Tlalocan means fluid world. It's another place where death goes after they ascend. And they depicted and describe this world like this, with butterflies and birds. And butterflies is the symbol of self-transformation, metamorphosis. Is the excellent archetype of transformation, that becoming a better version of yourself. Because we start like a worm, caterpillar, heavy, kind of ugly, with limited vision of the terrain. Just we have the vision at the ground. We can see beyond. But this little creature begins its journey and decides to fight the inner battle. And with the force of will, using its willing, and with its own means, it take itself to the cocoon, to the tree. They climb the tree and they create their cocoon. They're looking for darkness again, fasting, in getting in this internal energy, struggling with their own fears. After that, become in this beautiful being, butterfly. Now what we call papalot. And this papalot now is lighter, is free, is beautiful, can fly. The papalot can fly freely, and now it has a 360 vision of the whole place, the dominion of the terrain. Now is not limited. And the butterfly earned everything by its own merit. Nobody gave it something. That's why we have to be like that. It's a beautiful allegory to be in the Tlalocan paradise again, in the fluid world. We have to get fluency. I told you we need to be in the center and then balance. After that, everything flows. Then the tree of life is blossoming again with beautiful flowers. Xochitl means beauty in your life, incorporating beauty in your life. And living from your heart. And you have to be in the right state of resonance. This is the key of everything. Resonance, the spiritual wave in the right frequency. In balance, this atlachinoli means burned water. Clean your waters, keep your temperature to get this vapor and use the energy of darkness, the Nawali, the ether inside of you, induced to resonate in a coherent state. And this is Tlaloc. Tlaloc means the beverage of the earth, represents the rain that comes to fertilize everything. Remember, water fertilizes. That's why we are made of water. And also water is the fluid we have to use it to can travel through dimensions. This fluid is necessary. And also you have to come to clean everything and fertilize your dreams, fertilize your coherent state, your heart, with wisdom and love and resonance, the Tlaloca. That's why we have the ether that is eternity, using the Ethernet, the network that Nawal flows freely through our melanin. In the melanin is the melody, the right frequency, using darkness to live for living, to die for living. The melanin is inside of the darkness, the battery, auto rechargeable, self rechargeable, using the ether inside of you with the vision of a jaguar, because the jaguar has the best night vision of the mammals. That's the Tezcatlipoca archetype, the Nawali. Stalking yourself, your fields, using the force of the jaguar to defeat yourself and kill that parasite, that false strawman. And also we have here the organites. Use the organ, the energy of the organ, because we are made of crystals. We are magnetic dielectric beings that use crystals in order to resonate, to produce resonate, to get balance. But you have to channelize that organ, that energy, give the order to the quantic field to create your own projection in this holographic realm. And also you can create orgonites to protect yourself from radio frequencies and the electric pollution. We are orgonites, living orgonites, transforming everything. But our malfunction of this temple, this body, is because we are parasites. We are dirty, full of toxins and programming. Concepts of the reality, of the false reality of death. So that's why we have to live in following the principles of nature, walking barefoot, to grounding all the time, earthing, to connect to the magnetism, and induce to resonate our crystals inside using the orgonite, the organ here, in order to increase the energy from our hearts to produce the correctly magnoelectric energy. And this is our shield that is going to protect ourselves from the electric pollution, radio frequency pollution. And this is going to create a state of resonance with others. And that's why we have this snake that symbolizes the infinite, and also is a toroidal field, torus field, the alchemy. And this is representing also autophagy, that you don't need something from external influence to live. You can produce your own energy all the time and keeping in this harmonic loop the time that is necessary to be here to achieve ascension. So use this loop for a positive purpose, and don't fall in the trap of the time illusion, in the samsara illusion. You are the alchemist of your life. Turn the lead into gold inside of you. That's the secret of alchemy. That's why we call that centeod. Centeod is the one divinity, the first energy that is inside of you. Huehueteot means the ancient energy that is inside of you. Centli, centeod. Centli is also seed. So plant the seed inside your heart using the energy, the unique, the cosmic unity inside of you to become in Tlazopili. Tlazopili means the sons and daughters of love. So you have to born again from love, from beauty, using and the Toltec tradition would say, in Xochitl, in Cuicat, with flowers and chants. The chants represent sounds, waves, resonance, and flowers represent beauty in your life, nature, from the first energy that is inside of you. So that's why we have these codex again, representing all the time we're going to see in our tradition, human being in the center, like a Buddhism express too, because we don't have gods. We knew that this knowledge is to empower human beings, not to create worship to entities outside. It's to empower yourself. That's why we're gonna put all the time human beings in the center, because you are God. You are the source also. We are. You're representing he, the warrior, with arrows, ready for the battle, the inner battle. Flowing with the flowing with the currents of blood. So this is the path of our blood. That's why we call the red path, because we have to clean our blood. The blood is the water to create the alchemy, the right alchemy between heat and water in our blood, in order to turn the blood into plasma again, pure plasma, and ready for the inner battle to defeat the parasite. And also we have here Mikailwitl, and this codex is very important because it's showing us the journey that we have to pass through. And this is Tekpat. Tekpat means obsidian knife to cut the veils. Use the knife to cut the veils and open the way, connecting your consciousness to the energy. This is Mikailwitl, the one that reborns every day in energy. We have here Tlaloc again, water, rain, fertilizing. And every aspect of the life is represented here. We have the trees of life that is emerging from the density. This is the dragon. The dragon represents the earth, represents the four elements, represents the beast that is devouring everything. So you have to surpass this, the predator energy. And this is the blossom tree of life that emerges from your heart inside of you. And also this is another part of Ometeotl, the coherent state, where breathing, heart pulse, and blood pressure rhythm is in coherence, is in resonance. Because your breathing controls your heart pulse, and your heart pulse controls your blood pressure rhythm. And this is, you're gonna achieve this when you get rid of the noise inside and the noise of course outside. And also that's why we have to stop to listen music, especially the modern music, because it's programmed with emotions and is tuning in a bad frequency, in a bad in a bad frequency. It has been distortion, everything. And also it has spells when you repeat like mantras. The best thing related with music that we can practice or do is to sing, because it's produced by your own voice. Or maybe using the acoustic instruments. But the modern music is is bad for our health. If you don't believe me, just to go to check in YouTube on YouTube, cymatics experiments in water and in matter, in sand. And we are matter and we are water. So depends the frequency that you are exposed is going to respond in another ways. So that's why we have to keep in balance in silent. And that we have the formula of Tortecayot: center, equilibrium, fluency. State in the enter in the state of teomania. Teomania in Nahuatl means meditation. Teo is divine, mania is surrender. Surrender to your energy inside of the cave, inside of you, inner vision here. This I is representing the inner vision to create your own vortex in a perpetual movement of this fine energy. And for that, you have to experience the Xochitl. Xochitl means the flourish word, the inner battle. Be impeccables. That demands order, feelings, thoughts, words, and actions in one direction. This is another state of coherence. Feelings, order your feelings, thoughts, words, and actions in one direction. So if I die today, what will I get out of? This is a very important question that we have to make ourselves. So I told you we are dying every day. But if I die today, metaphorically speaking, what will I get out of? What are you able to get rid of? And this is one of the path of the self-transformation. Leave behind triggers and excesses that stimulate the parasites and change our frequencies. So this is a path of real freedom. No depend on anything but your own energy. So living for real is learning to die. So in this Apple Watch series commercial, the system is telling us something very important. Of course, is as you know, the best way to hide the truth is putting in plain sight. No? So here the fire represents that the fire is coming to burn time, kill Chronos, kill Saturn, this paradigm that we are involved. Time is money, time is dead. And it's burning its own game that devours the matter inside of the black cube, the carbon material of death. So it's telling us that the matrix is over to give birth to the aurora borealis inside of the center of the heart of the earth. Earth is an anagram of heart, remember. And also giving birth of the living human soul, again, the original, is the return to Hyperborea. Hyperborea means beyond, hyper is beyond, the boreal, the borealis, the aurora borealis, and also the demiurge, beyond the demiurge, Jehovah, Satan, and beyond from its artificial intelligence of extraction energy. And then we have here this message as training with Krista. That means training with Christos, crystal, with the crystal energy, of course, because we are made of crystal, not carbon. So Christos, Christ, Krishna, Quetzalcoatl is the same concept that we are made of crystals, resonant crystals, with our inner crystals, work to our inner crystals in order to resonate again in love and amor. Amor means no muerte, no mort, no death, without death. That means amor. And enter in synchrony. Synchrony means no chronos. Sin is without chronos, without time, without their mutual Saturn, etc. Along with ether, and be with the eternity of the magnetism from our heart. So the system is telling us, I think we have infiltrated people in the system that they are sending us messages. But we have to be very wise and keeping alert, and also for that you have to clean your body to see the messages well and recognize them when you, at the moment when that they are present in front of you. So all men and women died, but not all of them really live. This is from William Wallace, from Braveheart. Sorry, because I have to translate from Spanish. I don't have in English these slides. So Seneca said this: you are afraid of dying, but what different is your life that you are living now in comparison to be death? This is very, very strong words. They are telling us that we are living like walking dead all the time. So that's why we are afraid to die. You're already dead. Living in the way that if you are still living in the same way that I just told you before. And this is the representation of the Dia de Muertos in Mexico. People go to the cemetery to remember the dead people and that, and it's cool, it's a folklore, but this is, I told you, this is not a real thing. And for that season in the year, it's November, the 1st November and 2nd November, very close to Halloween. This is another concept of that, Halloween. Very, very cool, very important to realize that also this is another concept that we have to get rid of that and stop to practicing and celebrating Halloween and celebrate Christmas and those kind of rituals that belongs to this dead system. And they grow this kind of flower that we call cempasúchil. Cempasúchil means the flower of 20 petals, because 20 is the complete count, because we have 20 fingers in hands and 10 in hands and 10 toes, the toes in our feet. So in our body we have 20 fingers. That's why they say that actually our ancestors created this flower. They modified genetically to create this beautiful flower in yellow. And it's very important because this represents the force of will also to achieve this self-transformation using the force of your heart, the magnetism to achieve those changes. And nothing really dies if you live from your heart. That yolo tescatilistli means the reflection of your heart. So our ancestors said us, nothing really dies if you live from your heart. Remember that you have to reflect the reflection of your heart, not the reflection of your mind. That's the trap. And clean your mirror to reflect your true being, your essence. This is the message of the Tezcatlipoca archetype, the smoke mirror. And this is one of the most important archetypes in the Toltec tradition that I'm going to explain in another lecture. But that's the message. Clean your mirror, because we are mirrors, because we are made of crystals. Remember that we are reflecting all the time the reality. We are projecting a reality, but we are not reflecting the true essence because we are involved in these veils, and we have been covered by smokes and fumes that they are blocking the real reflection from our heart and souls. So that's why we have to clean your mirror to reflect your true being, your essence. And to finish this lecture, remember, die is another concept that we have to embrace now. And death serves life. And you have to die for living. Miki Pampayoli. And transform yourself in a better version all the time. So I'm going to ask you this. You want to keep living in the Dia de Muertos? In the system of muerte, the system of death? Practicing death practice? Or you want to start to live in real time, here and now, aware, and living for a real purpose, to ascend. So thank you very much, and Tlazolcamati, that means in Nahuatl, I give you love with my word, and I wish you all that has the commitment to achieve all of this and start to practice. The time has come, here and now, Nikanash, Ometeo.